edition of Wrestling Sheet Radio. I'm your host, ProWrestlingSheet.com editor-in-chief Ryan Satin, here with my co-hosts Elijah Bates.
Hi.
Jamie Iovine.
That's me.
Are you filming?
I'm trying to. Hello.
And, of course, Kevin Silva's here this week.
Crew.
The whole crew is here this week. I just felt like getting y'all in here. There's a lot to talk about, and I wanted to hear what you guys all thought about it. And I want to start off talking about AEW-related things because there was a bunch of AEW-related news articles this week that I wanted to get your guys' opinions on.
Including one today.
But I'm going to start with the one that was yesterday because I thought this was such a different way of thinking than we're used to in the professional wrestling industry, and that is Cody Rhodes talking about AEW not looking to please casual fans, but they just want to please their fan base right now. He did an interview with Busted Open Radio where he said he hates the term casual fan because he believes it's vernacular to describe wrestling that is based on the Monday Night Wars. So my focus is always the base that built AEW, and that base, if you've seen it, you get it. If you haven't seen it, it's just something that you have to see and feel. And then he said, there's people who are plenty critical of AEW, of what AEW does, and instead of signal boosting that, I'd rather 100 of the fans that we have in that base than that one sulky son of a bitch that's not coming on board. Anyways, you guys know that the first way to fail is to try and please everybody, but I got to take care of the people who brought us to the dance in the first place, and I think that will be appealing on a global level.
I mean, that's a nice thought, but at the same time, I'm sure TNT doesn't think that way. So, I mean, you need to appeal to the casual fans. You need to appeal to the people that are just going to pop in and help those ratings. I get what he's saying, but it's, I
mean, it's a great thing to say, and it's a great quote. It's definitely a great quote to have.
Yeah.
Like a blurb, when they have those articles and they have, like, the highlights of the article. It's like Kevin said. It's like, sure, you can, and there is value into making sure that those people are happy because yes, they're the whole reason why there is an AEW in the first place. But at the same time, the company will not survive on the X amount of indie fans that have brought them there if they want to just keep those guys and just them happy. And it doesn't mean it's just. It may be the way he phrased it, but it just seems very limiting.
It seems like a social media influenced statement. Like it's like somebody responding to like negative tweets or like negative posts or something like that, rather than thinking about it on a broad mainstream television level, I guess. Because it's like, that one sulky SOB or whatever. Like, who is that referring to? Is that referring just to somebody who's given them negative flack online? Like, because, I mean, ultimately, that is somebody that could be one of millions of viewers and everything like that, but it's not like referring to millions of viewers.
And you need to make this accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, you really need to, especially if you need to get more audiences. Like, they're trying to get TNT's looking to get millions of people to watch.
Well, they're
this.
looking to get like a Nitro effect in it, Like where it's
and right now, if you're trying to cater to the people that brought you to the dance, we're going to get another over-the-budget battle royal with no explanation of who these guys are because we're just going to hope and assume that the indie fans that brought us to this place know who they are, which is the mistake they made last time. And it's a little like I said, there's definitely a lot of value in making sure your core customer base is happy. Of course.
Yeah.
That being said, you got to make it accessible for. Like, for instance, this casual fan thing. I don't like the term he says he doesn't like the term casual fan. Well, that's where a lot of your hardcore fans come from.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't start hardcore.
No.
I was so confused by that, and I'm glad you said that because I was so confused by saying that casual fan is just something that describes wrestling fans from the Monday Night Wars, that like lapsed fan type thing. Hell no, dude. Like, my dad is a casual fan.
Yeah.
My dad doesn't seek out every wrestling company. You want to get that guy to also watch your show. That is a casual fan.
Case in point. I have a friend of mine who always goes to Comic-Con with me. His name is Jason. He watches the product not religiously, not every single Monday, Tuesday, but he, like every other Monday, every other Tuesday, all the pay-per-views. He does keep in touch with that because he's a big, older, like the Golden Era, Hogan, Macho Man, all that stuff. And, of course, he has no idea what New Japan is, what AEW is. Well, he's heard of it. And his nephew, who does know all this, is like he has a 12-year-old nephew who says, oh, you need to see this new guy, Kenny Omega. And he told me about it. He's like, yeah, my little nephew says that I need to check out who Kenny Omega is. That's not a hardcore fan. And you need to, like, when he – and so say he's going to turn on AEW on TNT. it needs to be accessible to him.
Yeah.
It needs to be.
Well, I mean, Devin Sawa, who's a popular actor, he's in Idle Hands and stuff. He's a casual fan. He likes wrestling, but he's not watching every single thing. And I said to him, like, you should give All Out a chance. I bet you, if WWE is not what you're feeling these days, you should give AEW a shot. And he saw the press release that went out about their TV show, and he was like, all right, this sounds cool. I'm going to watch the first episode. You want to keep that guy watching. You don't be like, well, he doesn't
He's
watch
not one of us.
GCW and isn't one of us, so fuck him,
Like, Kevin, does somebody become like a big fan of indie music without having first being introduced via mainstream music?
I mean, you go to see a band that you want to see, and then you see the people that are opening up, and you're like, okay, I'll check this one out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my little brother's in the process of doing right now.
Like,
so.
casual fan is like a jumping off point for like a hardcore wrestling fan. It's
Absolutely.
like you can't, like you said, you can't just start out a hardcore fan of anything because you would be a fan of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird to talk about the casual fan because we're all getting older to where, like, his hardcore dedicated fan base is getting older to where it's hard to watch so much wrestling.
Yeah, we're
So
all in our mid-30s.
Yeah. We're nothing. We can't be anything but a casual fan sometimes because it's so hard to watch everything.
Yeah.
Eli's in his late 30s.
Yeah.
Mid to late.
But it's just it's an odd.
I'm
phrasing to use.
30-19.
No, and the
Cody Rhodes' career was built off the casual fan.
Yeah.
That's
Not only that, but like that's why eyeballs are on them in a lot of ways. Because like, hey, then why did you get Jericho? Why did you get John Moxley? Why did you get these people that people know? Like, I mean, those are mainstream
Bret Hart
people.
introduced your title.
That's why you have so many buys for something like All Out is because you brought in a lot of casual fans via like these other mainstream stars who came from like a conduit for the casual fan.
Now, I do understand that part of what he was saying, it would seem, is that it's not so much that he doesn't care about attracting those people.
Yeah, I
but
think
that
this is largely...
it's more so he believes that not focusing on attracting those people will then attract those people, which to me is I kind of see what he's saying, that he's like, if we please these people, then other people will start to come.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
Right?
I don't think the words that came out of his mouth truly. I mean, I have
He's
no
not
idea.
saying screw the casual fan.
No,
He kind of did. I
I
listened to the interview. I wrote the article. He kind of said, "I hate the term casual." Here, I'll put it. I'll play it.
Well, the term
Let's
casual
listen.
fan,
You all
right?
have your headphones. I'll put your headphones on, Jamie. You can hear. You'll hear that.
You guys have heard the term so much as you guys talk about wrestling, but you guys have heard the term casual fan, right? Oh, how are they going to get the casual fan? And the term casual fan, I just want to, I honestly think I throw up a little in my mouth every time I hear it, because it's this vernacular to describe wrestling that is based on the Monday Night Wars. When the Monday Night Wars are over, they're not a thing as far as they're not happening here and now in the present. What's happening here and now in the present is we can't determine what it is. It's something that only history will be able to tell us. So my focus is always the base that built AEW. And that base, if you've seen it, you get it. And if you haven't seen it, it's just something that you have to see and feel. And then Bully knows what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of confidence that sometimes can get misplaced for arrogance on my half or on the elite's behalf. But I've seen the power. I've seen it, and that's why I want to focus on them first and foremost. There's people who are plenty critical of what AEW does, and instead of signal boosting that, I'd rather 100 of the fans that we have in that base than that one salty son of a bitch that's not coming on board. Anyways, if that makes any sense. You guys know that first way to fail is to try and please everybody, but I got to take care of the people who brought us to the dance in the first place, and I think that will be appealing on a global level.
The funny thing is, like, the people that brought us to the dance in the first place are sometimes a silky son of a bitch that's going to complain about you.
No, it's like
So,
wrestling fans complain about everything.
So All In and Double or Nothing, everyone loved those shows, and then you come and Fight for the Fallen, and you call what was the next one after that?
Fyter Fest.
Fyter Fest.
Or opposite way, Fyter Fest,
Yeah,
then
Fight
Fight for
for the Fallen. And you have those same fans that brought you to the dance that are now talking shit on you. So it's going to happen. Whoever. You're going to have critics in every different area.
The other thing is just like to refer to the term, like the term casual fan doesn't just refer to the Attitude Era. That's misdirected thinking, because like the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of modern day casual fan is like, what about like the kid who got into wrestling because of John Cena? That has nothing to do with the Attitude Era at a certain point. If a kid got into John Cena in 2011 and is still a fan of wrestling right now as a result of that, that's like at least 10 years detached from like the end of the Attitude Era. Maybe there was still some influence of the Attitude Era at that point in time, but like that person is not the Attitude Era. That, and again, like that's a fan like your dad. Maybe your dad was a fan back then, but a kid who was a fan of John Cena back then is not a fan of the Attitude Era. They're a fan of the modern era. And so to say that it's just directed towards the Attitude Era is, again, it's misdirected.
When he said first, he said, I want to take care of my fan base first.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah.
Which now that I've heard it in context, I'm not switching sides on my stance on this. I'm just saying this sounds like let us appease them and then we'll get the new guys, which again, you gotta, of course, why change what brought you to the dance? Of course that. But it's just, it just seems very, to me, great leaders are open. They're open to new things and they're open to new ideas. I'm not saying he's not. By no means am I saying that. I am saying that just the way that it was, the verbiage was a little close-minded.
Yeah, well,
a little bit.
That's how I felt too.
But to see it from his perspective, though, at the same time, Cody Rhodes, since he left WWE, has been a monumental success. I would suggest that he hasn't faced a lot of what we define as failure either. AEW hasn't faced failure yet. They've been going and they've had nothing but kind of really positive momentum since then. So, I mean, he has every right to feel as strongly as he does and everything because he hasn't really gotten kicked in the teeth yet on his own in the independent scene and now into AEW
yeah, because
too.
I mean, it's a much different attitude when you could go out there and say, I'm going to go kill this shit, but hey, if I don't, it's still somebody else's show that somebody else will pick him up if I drag him down.
I mean, he has
this is the first time it's really been his neck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Since he's left.
And I mean, and he's a wrestler. He has every right to, also take a frame really when it comes down to it, when it comes to his opinion and perspective on the matter, and he has.
And he knows more about this business than all four of us in this room know.
I don't agree with what he's saying, but at the same time, like, I totally support him saying it.
I think the only difference is that what you just said, Jamie, is I do think that Cody Rhodes knows more about the wrestling business than me. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think that when it comes to television business, though, it's different. Like I also have grown up around the television industry, and that the casual fan is fucking important. Like the people that, like, when you're, being the elite gets what 100,000 views a week or whatever, 200,000 on a good week. Like that's not gonna please TNT.
Well,
I guarantee you, if TNT saw that article and they saw that quote, they were like, can someone go talk to that guy?
Now they're probably not even saying, they're like, sure, kid. Behind closed doors, they're all laughing.
Exactly, yeah, totally.
Like, I mean, even Vince McMahon, gets, like in trouble sometimes for the ratings. Like, I mean, that's why they, have like these, reunion shows and whatnot. Half the time it sounds like it's actually directed by the network rather than them themselves, too.
Absolutely. And speaking of Vince McMahon, I want to get into the other thing that Jamie mentioned at the top of this before we spend too much time on this topic. The other thing that happened with Cody this week happened today, and I thought it was super interesting. He responded to what Vince McMahon said about AEW when he made reference to AEW featuring blood and guts. For those of you
I didn't see any guts. To be fair,
for those of you who maybe didn't see it, McMahon or read it or hear about it or whatever, McMahon talked about plans to loosen up the family-friendly nature of WWE programming during this investors call, and he made a few subtle digs at AEW in the process. He said, there will be something we do in terms of a direction of content, more controversy, better storylines, etc. But at the same time, we're not going to go back to the quote Attitude Era, and we're not going to do blood and guts and things of that nature, such as being done on perhaps a new potential competitor. He also said that they have graduated from gory crap, and Cody had a lot to say about it. I'll just play this one too instead of reading his full promo because it's pretty good. I'm just gonna play this one.
Comments made about us where we were.
Was this on a road to Dublin?
This was AEW posted a YouTube video today where they were promoting tickets to the first TV show taping on TNT, and in that they mentioned the blood and guts thing.
Very public comments made about us where we were referred to as blood and guts. Blood and guts. And it was said with such a braggart candor that you would think the person saying it felt that they were bulletproof. But I wonder, before they said it, if they tasted their own words before they spit them out, because the entirety of our business is built on blood and guts. Every man or woman who ever stepped foot in the ring, regardless of race, color, creed, political affiliation, sexual identity, has felt blood and guts and passion. Because if we don't care, they don't care. So if you say we're blood and guts, I say, you bet your ass we're blood and guts.
Which I like. I
Nice music, by the way.
Yeah,
What is this, like a speech by Captain America?
That's totally how it felt.
I feel like most of Cody's like one-on-one with the cameras are that exact thing, and it's great.
Well, it felt like ever since the when on Being the Elite, when they did the invasion and he did the whole like, this is our
From speech-
Independence
yeah,
Day,
from
yeah,
speech from Independence Day.
Ever since then, he's tried to go more of like that direction. It feels like, and yeah, he is really good when it's like him and the camera, and he's like, this is our mission. If anyone knows the mission statement of AEW. The best, it's Cody Rhodes in my opinion. Tony Khan might be in charge, the Bucks might be booking things, but I just feel like when it comes to the mission statement, Cody Rhodes is as good as the figurehead. And I felt like this was way better plan of attack than making little jokey things on Being the Elite, like titling the next episode Blood and Guts, or kind of like how on the Road 2 they had that board in the background and it said more blood and guts. I felt like this was like a rallying cry. Like this to me was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we are blood and guts, and that's why you should watch us. And I thought that was really smart to kind of turn it on Vince.
It's also funny knowing that like there's been recent comments from, it wasn't Tony Khan who said we're gonna save that for later and for pay-per-views and then not on actual TV.
Yeah.
So there won't be blood and guts on the actual show.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see like what TNT does allow though too. Like I mean, cable TV is a different landscape than it was 20 years ago, and like since then you've had stuff like UFC that's proliferated, and you got like a lot of different kinds of content, and there's been like lots of adult material.
You could say shit on TV now.
Yeah, like I mean, if you look at,
you could always say shit on TV, but
I mean, if you look at stuff
it's just like now, it's
back in the 90s,
you could on cable say shit.
If you look at a lot of like,
it's just they didn't because
like television
advertisers.
Television series that come out now are much more cinematic in the way that they're made. They're much more graphic. They're much more realistic because they have to be gripping in order to keep up with Netflix, with Amazon, and other places that are producing really, really well done adult content. Not adult like as in like NC-17 or anything like that, but just more mature content. And so like to some extent, it's like maybe TNT will allow them to go like to go way over the edge or way past where they've been before.
To me, it's not a TNT thing. It's an advertiser's thing. Like, yeah I'm sure TNT will be like, fine, go ahead. I don't know about that, but what I mean is like TNT could, in theory, be like, go ahead.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's
advertisers.
It's
about the advertisers.
Money.
If they're like, well, we don't want to be associated with that, then TNT is going to be like, well, tone it down.
And I mean, and to some extent, if you go back and you look at the advertisers that were around in the Attitude Era, like he had a lot of weird stuff. Stacker
JVC,
2,
Kaboom Box,
Stacker 2, Chef Boyardee, raviolis. Like I mean,
Super Soaker.
One of these days, I'm for like a Jamie birthday, like one of your like good birthdays, like a
40?
milestone one. Yeah, I'm gonna get you that JVC Kaboom Box.
One day,
I'm gonna get it for you. I'm
Maybe
gonna find
like
it on eBay or something.
It's just I remember the day we went to Radio Shack. He thought it was the dumb because my dad, he's an audio head, and he's like, you could test it. He was like, this is terrible. Like this, the top end is all off. Like
it's like, but it looks so neat.
That's why I wanted it.
I love that Jamie remembers the day he couldn't get the JVC Kaboom Box so bad.
The day he went to Radio Shack.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan talks about the moon boots.
I know. I was just
well, I at least have that on video. My boots. But I definitely didn't remember that moment until I saw the video, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that motherfucker did break my moon boots."
And now the whole world will sharing that memory.
I remember my older brother, we got Mousetrap, and he stepped on an integral piece like immediately. Oof. And it didn't work.
And
my parents were like, "That I told you that game was stupid." I was like, "It's broken."
That one and 13 Dead End Drive are the one game that nobody knew how to play it, but they could just set up the traps and just do that.
Oh yeah, you never tried to play Mousetrap. It was like, let's do it once
if
before
somebody
it
could
breaks.
write to us and tell us the actual rules of Mousetrap, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
I forgot about 13 Dead End Drive.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Clearly.
I like 13 Dead End Drive more than the Mousetrap game.
I think I liked Mousetrap more than 13 Dead End Drive because you got to make all those.
Sick though.
You got to make all the cool things in Mousetrap though.
Yeah.
My favorite one of all time though is Don't Wake Daddy because that used to give me legit anxiety. Like how many times you press the alarm clock.
I know. I realized that, Kevin. Fuck off.
Ryan Google images mousetraps. Just a plethora of actual mousetraps pop up.
I wanted to see what the board game. I wanted to be reminded of the good things it had.
The green. All I remember is the green diver guy.
Mousetrap was like a Rube Goldberg inspired game, you know, and the only reason anybody wanted it is because Pee-wee's Big Adventure had come out shortly before that game came out. Which starts with a Rube Goldberg.
The reason I wanted it is just I wanted to do the Rube Goldberg. And then you do it, and then you're like, okay, that's it.
Yeah. No, you do it once, and you're like, I'm done with Mousetrap for forever. Mousetrap sucks.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't play Mousetrap that many times.
Nobody did.
Nobody did.
I clearly remember it. But
Mousetrap is not.
It.
Mousetrap is not Uno.
Right.
Like if someone could legit tell me like how the rules of Mousetrap, I would be shocked.
I definitely can't tell you the rules of Mousetrap.
The board game I've gotten the most mileage out of is definitely Battleship.
Battleship is a great one.
You could play that.
One time I was playing.
I don't like Battleship.
I played Battleship with my brother one time, and I knew he was cheating, and it literally he was like, "Nope," every single time, and it got to the point where there was no space where his 3-prong boat, could be on the map anymore because there was only 2-prong spaces. And I remember I did the last one. I was like, "I got him," and he was like, "Nope," and I was like, "You're cheating! You have to be cheating!" And he was. And that was the last time I ever played Battleship. I was like, I'm never playing this again. You've ruined Battleship.
I brought one to my work so we could play.
You've never played Battleship again since?
No, because people can cheat really easily at Battleship, myself included.
It is Warrior's code for Battleship.
It's like you have to play somebody with honor, and nobody has honor who plays Battleship. They would be on an actual battleship if they had honor.
You're going by Mariner's code at that point, and it's just the open waters at that point.
I feel like I just play Monopoly.
Yeah, Monopoly Deal. That's the game.
But Monopoly just takes for fucking hours.
No, that's why you play Monopoly Deal.
Never-ending game.
Monopoly Deal is the card game version of it. It's the best game ever made. I've played probably 50,000 games of it.
Did you guys see that they have a new version of Monopoly where
you're supposed to go bankrupt?
No, where there's no paper money in the game anymore. It's just credit card, and there's like an actual machine that does all the banking, so no cheaters for bankers.
Like
Me too, because people fucking cheat in Monopoly too with banking.
And also, you lose all the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all the time.
Then all of a sudden you've got life money in there, and it's like these denominations do not match up.
They made a Monopoly. I don't know if I don't think it's official, but like they sell it at Brea's Target. It's Monopoly of Brea, California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is very weird.
Very niche, right?
Very specific.
They're like, we've sold 10 of these.
My buddy bought one immediately. I was like, all right, you lived here your whole life. I get it.
Well, speaking of spending money, I want to talk about my favorite story of the week, and that is Triple H's insanely expensive birthday party in New Hampshire.
So what birthday was this? Was
his
it
50th
birthday?
Gotta go big for that one.
Gotta go big. And Stephanie pulled out all the stops, dude. Stephanie McMahon threw him such an epic birthday party.
I don't know. My friend's birthday party, his first 50th had llamas and
this
alpacas.
Had a drone show,
which I want to know what a Triple H inspired drone show is.
Did you not see the video?
No, there's a video.
There's video in the post.
I've only heard the.
Like the logos and everything.
I've only heard the X-Pac describe it. I didn't know there was video.
I found video on social media where it starts like where.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So describe to the people listening. It's basically like his Iron Cross thing in the sky with all red.
Those are all drones.
Those are all drones. Yeah, individual drones.
And people want to talk shit about Spider-Man Far From Home. Come on.
And then it switches to the DX music, and suddenly right here it turns into the DX logo in the sky.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
Did he have a holographic Lemmy?
No,
Because that would have been
cool.
so sick.
Or just Lemmy's face in the sky with the mouth moving.
That would be so cool.
Drones
Time
moving.
to play the game.
Drones pouring Jack Daniels into its
Oh
mouth.
my god.
This is
Playing
what
pinball.
This is what we're doing now. Not fireworks, drone shows.
Drone shows,
Yeah.
dude. I was telling.
Cheaper?
No, way more.
Oh, way
expensive.
more. Yeah.
Safer though.
Safer.
I was-
Less
Fireworks are
angry
very
dogs.
expensive.
Drones. A drone show is
It's
expensive.
true.
And like, think about it. A gang of fireworks is like what, $200?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
professional,
I'm talking about legit
like a
full
Disneyland
show.
fireworks show is a little.
How much are
different.
those?
I don't
you think?
know.
They
I
can't
forgot
be that
how
much because local
If
towns
some-
do them.
Yeah, if Little League
Yeah,
teams
they-
could do this
yeah.
for a
That
win.
Hey.
shit's expensive.
Little League teams don't do like Disneyland
Yeah.
or 4th
Okay,
of
but no,
July.
but, like,
The ones that
you know.
shoot up in the air
Let's
and
say,
explode. Yes,
in
they do.
Malibu, like in Malibu, like
I
that
guarantee
one,
you that's
it can't
probably-
be that much money they're spending to.
I guarantee the Malibu fireworks show is probably $100,000 bare minimum.
no
Easy.
way.
Like no, because there's safety codes that they gotta like
Or-
protocols that they gotta do. You gotta rent a barge because you gotta shoot those things off from over the ocean. Like there's a lot more protocols that go into having a really expensive fireworks show than you are given credit for.
I just
right
think
now.
each one of those drones is at least $200.
Yeah, I'm not saying that one is more expensive than
Time
the other.
reported the cost to put on a fireworks display for the public ranges from $5,000 to $30,000.
And for a place like Malibu, I bet you that's like $200,000.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Ryan may have
Look
called
up the
you.
Malibu fireworks show, boy.
how much does it cost to put on
The Malibu.
Malibu fireworks show? It doesn't say.
200. I saw it.
No,
right
you
there.
didn't. Fuck you.
$1 million.
I saw it. There it is.
I saw it. Oh, it went away. Oh, Google.
Crafty.
I was talking to Rocco before we started recording. I was telling him I read this article the other day on Mohammed bin Salman, the guy in Saudi Arabia. And
The guy.
Well, he is the guy in Saudi Arabia. He's the man. He's the guy who makes all the decisions in Saudi Arabia. And he apparently, I didn't read like too much detail, but he's putting like a ton of money into a stretch of land or whatever, where he's making like his own new town of the future type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Did none of you guys see this?
No.
I gotta pull this up.
Well, you should finish what else
I
is
know
at
I'm
the
going to because
birthday.
it's
So far, we're just at the drones.
Oh, I'm gonna get back to the birthday, but this has to do with drones.
I wanted to hear more about this birthday, though, too.
What kind of cake was it?
We're gonna get back into the birthday. Don't worry.
Was there
But
cake?
the reason
Was
I
there a
brought-
food fight? That's really what I want to know. Every single WWE party always ends in a food fight.
The reason I brought up is that Mohammed Salman guy, in his plan to, it's a $500 billion city of the future in Saudi Arabia.
$500 billion?
$500 billion is being pumped into the city. And one of the things that he wants to have there is he wants an artificial moon that is made of drones, so that at night, the drone, similar to the Triple H party, the drone fleet goes up in the air and they cover where you would see the moon, basically. And so it's their own moon that's fancier and like they can stream. Here's what it says about it. It says, a giant artificial moon that would light up each night. One proposal suggests it could live stream images from outer space, acting as an iconic landmark.
This is gonna give more like leeway to like flat earthers. Like, see,
Hey.
they're artificial moon.
He sounds like
Another one.
He sounds like Mr. Burns.
He also, if you want to know,
Take the spruce moose.
it gets more Mr. Burnsy. He also wants glow-in-the-dark sand, which they haven't been able to figure out yet.
Which not just them.
I think it's called
Some-
I think that's called radioactivity.
the best minds in science.
Dinosaur robots, where residents could
No,
visit
no,
a Jurassic
no.
Park-style
No,
island of
no.
robot reptiles.
That's worse than regular dinosaurs.
Hey, that's Terminator and Jurassic Park. It could only go wrong.
And my favorite part, robot martial arts. Robots would do more than just clean your house. They also
clean
could
your
spar
fucking
head-to-head in a robo cage fight.
Yeah,
One of
because we
many
should
sports
teach them
on
kung
offer.
fu.
They're gonna kill. He's gonna die on that in his land.
I know. That's why when I
In
read
50
that article,
years,
I was like,
Saudi
oh my God.
Arabia is going to be Skynet.
He's gonna get buried in his radioactive sand.
I feel like what he's really doing is he's building an army here.
And
I
his-
mean, he's
his-
secretly building
Yeah,
an
robot
army. Like,
dinosaurs, ninja
drones
robots.
that will cover the moon and robot
It's
dinosaurs.
like America's like, we have drones that can hit a target from like 50,000 feet away, but ours knows karate. So
Yes. Drones that know dinosaur karate.
dinosaur karate.
We're just making the T-Rex's arms just a little longer.
Like like what if you were like a robot was coming at you, pointed a gun at it, and it just went. Now it has the gun.
That's what I'm terrified of.
Yeah.
That's why when I read that, I was like, don't do that. Don't program that.
The
Don't
flying
program
si-
them to
flying
do
bison.
that.
That's Transformers, the dinosaur Transformers.
Yeah.
Like that's all that is.
Like you're going to be going to the bathroom and sitting on the toilet, and all of a sudden a dinosaur is going to karate kick the door open and bite you like that lawyer.
Is that just a Zord from the Power Rangers?
yes.
The Zords did know karate. I mean, well,
They kind of knew karate.
to
They
the
are
extent-
robots,
well,
to be
and they
fair,
are animals.
To be
They were
fair,
controlled.
they're being controlled by the Rangers themselves.
that is
well,
true.
I mean,
they were more
they'll
vehicles.
be controlled by him.
True.
Probably.
That's a good point.
That'd
All
be
right,
like
fair.
saying Krang's body knew what to do.
Is he going to be Krang for the
Silly
dinosaurs?
me. What an idiot. Okay, so back to the party. Sorry. Sean Waltman talked about the party.
That was
X-Pac.
worth it, actually.
I knew it would be. That's why I brought it up. X-Pac talked about the party on the latest episode of X-Pac.
You think Billy was
1, 2, 3,
invited? That's kind of fucked.
Hey, break it down. Is it?
I
is
mean,
it
he he said that about 50 people got invited, and it was just who Triple H would want to be at his party.
No.
He didn't specify, but in all the pictures, I didn't see. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn were not mentioned. I did notice that. I don't think that Road Dogg was not invited, but I just didn't see
Road
him in all the
Dogg was
pictures.
there.
I would assume Road
For
Dogg was there.
sure.
But in the pictures, I only saw
he led the
Kevin
prayer.
Nash, Scott Hall, X-Pac, Shawn Michaels, Batista, Ric Flair. I guess Lyndon McMahon was there. Your boy Matt Bloom was there.
Oh, that's a
romantic comedy star Matt Bloom.
Whenever they say Matt Bloom, I always think Matt Bloom from NXT.
Yeah, that's Matt Bloom.
That's him.
Oh wait, no. Who's the who? Wasn't there I'm confusing the Tool guy. I guess.
That's Adam Jones.
Oh, I misread the.
Maynard as well as also.
I misread the. I thought there's another Matt Bloom. That's not the NXT coach.
Did I word that weird? Should I have had Matt Bloom's name first?
Maybe I read it wrong.
Because I said
don't know.
Tools, Adam Jones, and Matt Bloom. Does that make it
that's
sound
why
like he's in?
That's why I got a little confused.
I'll switch that. Just for people that might have been confused. I will switch it right now.
Who else was there?
Shawn Michaels, Dave Batista, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Ric Flair, Linda McMahon, Adam Jones, Matt Bloom. That's
Where
all.
was Rick Rubin's invite?
That's a good question.
I'm sure he was.
what do you
invited, he
think?
just didn't wanna
What
go.
do you
He
kind of
probably
food
wrote
do you
on
think?
Well,
the-
I have the answer to that.
Was there like all you can eat like chicken? Because
So-
I feel like
So
I feel
okay.
like
Just chicken breast.
it's like
that's
this
it.
chicken and mustard. He's like, oh, it's a high protein birthday.
So the
It's all
party-
going to be made on the George Foreman grills. Just make sure you got all the grease out.
So the party was split up into two parties, one in the daytime, one at nighttime.
Which sounds exhausting.
yeah.
But okay, so he said the first
Exhausting.
part was on like a on a lake or whatever, and they or whatever, some kind of body of water, and they're riding jet skis,
Everyone's
boats,
jet skiing
and
drunk.
go karting. And he said that there was also
Go-karting?
Yeah, they were go karting there,
On the water?
not on the water, but
They figured it out.
but he said that there was also an axe throwing station.
Oh, yeah.
Where like kind of like they have like the things.
This is my
out there
favorite
now.
part of the story.
And he just talks about how Vince McMahon was throwing axes at the party for most of the time, and
Like,
how it was like
I've-
him
I've-
and Kevin Nash just chilling, throwing axes. And he said, and X-Pac said that, like Vince was just like so jacked walking around the party, all just like jacked
Which
up
makes
on
me even
axe
think
throwing.
more. What did he wear to the party?
Lumberjack.
He didn't say what he wore, but his X-Pac's co-host Denise said like I just picture he's walking around like in shorts and a tight shirt if that's what if that's
yeah,
your
for
description.
sure.
And he was like, nah, it wasn't like cool shorts or anything like that, but he was definitely real bowed up, just walking around.
I feel like
with his
he
muscles
was
out.
wearing dress pants, a belt, and a tank top.
Yeah.
a tank top with dress
Or
pants.
a wife beater. A wife
yeah.
beater.
Yeah, like a really tight tank top.
Yeah.
Like a really weird looking
You
tank
think he
top.
showed up like that, or like took the other shirt off? To, like,
I
get
just
in axe
don't. I
throwing
just
mode?
don't think Vince McMahon has pool party style.
He definitely doesn't wear t-shirts.
That's
right?
why if Vince McMahon
Well,
wore
maybe
a t-shirt, that'd be crazy.
maybe like a Gold's Gym t-shirt.
I like that
Like the
sentence.
ones with the tank tops. that are
yeah,
just,
like
really
or like
loud.
the cut off arms Gold's Gym
If
t-shirt.
Vince McMahon wore a T-shirt, that'd be crazy. Like that, it's crazy that is crazy.
Yeah,
but
that
that's
is
such a
actually-
silly sentence and also true.
It's like Birkenstocks and like cargo shorts.
I just can't
Those
imagine.
sweaters.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that like what we would wear to a pool party is the same thing that he
No,
would wear.
no.
You know, I don't think he has that.
He's in like
outfit.
board shorts and a hoodie.
If that.
yeah, because I mean, you would think if there was water sports all day, he could have been in shorts, but he wasn't.
No, he strikes me-
Or Sean said he was not in shorts.
He strikes me as the type of guy who'd be wearing a Speedo if he's doing water sports.
Oh,
Yeah.
You think Vince rolls around in speedos?
That-
He
Yeah,
used to
actually,
back in
yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
There's a photo of him that's
Yeah.
on Dark side of the
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess he is in a Speedo in that picture, which was a good picture.
Oh, I don't like chafing.
Gotta show off these thighs.
I just can't imagine him showing up in a tank top from Urban Outfitters and some short and board shorts. I just can't.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money for these quads. I'm gonna show them the fuck off.
I would picture he shows up in a WWE tank top if he's gonna wear a tank top.
Like a
Because also, I don't think he goes.
He's got an I'm a hooker tank top on, throwing axes with Kevin Nash.
But I love that he stayed there the entire party. I like to think that he did.
No, he from the way it sounds, he did. So X-Pac says they had this whole thing on the leg. There was the axe throwing. Or body, whatever it was.
I want to throw axes.
Throwing axes at Vince.
Throwing axes at Vince? What?
With Vince. And then he said,
Let's play tag.
Throw them at me. I fucking dare you. I'm the ultimate game.
So then he said they had that part, then they got shuttled back to the hotel, had some downtime, and then were shuttled to another spot for the nightly festivities, which included the drone show that they talked about, the Triple H-inspired drone show. And then after that, there was performances from ZZ Top and John Fogerty.
Wow.
Which is pretty
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then he says, X-Pac said that Vince was dancing around the whole party during the performances, which I want to see it. I wish there was video
How
of
old
that.
is Vince? Like 72?
Sounds about right.
God. And then 7 minutes of just everyone standing in a
73.
circle and Triple H with a water gun shooting Baron Corbin as Baron Corbin giggles.
This is what we know. This is what you wanted for your birthday to shoot Baron Corbin again.
They just have a duct tape with Baron
No,
Corbin.
they like give him a squirt gun. He's like, "You don't mean just what I want."
Baron Corbin's got a sock in his mouth. He's tied up in the corner somewhere. Oh!
You guys how'd you know?
And to answer your question, Eli, during the day, the main course was lobster meat. He said there was lobster meat for as
prime
much.
rib.
Well, he said during the daytime one, there was about as much lobster meat as anyone could ever eat. He said that he was like, they must have bought all the lobsters in New Hampshire because he was like, it was just an insane amount of lobster. And then at night, prime rib.
I defy you to find one kale leaf in that entire birthday
God,
party.
no, yeah.
Actually, just bathtubs full of butter for all the lobster meat.
Did you guys see that video that Barstool posted this week of Nikki Bella? They interviewed Nikki Bella, and she's talking
About sneezing?
No, there's another one they posted.
Oh, I saw that one.
Where I saw the sneezing one. I just saw the other one today where they ask about they ask about the sneezing, but then she changes the subject. So yeah, the sneezing one, the corn dog thing. You saw that?
I didn't see the corn dogs.
So they ask
Which,
about
if they're going to trash corn dogs at this show, then I'm just going to leave right
No, it's better. She says like that they were doing a tribute to the Troop show because they asked about the sneezing. And she's like, no, he hates sneezing. I never sneezed around him. And then she's like, I do remember one time we were overseas for the tribute to the Troop show. And it was like time to eat, and all they really had there was like corn dogs. So I started eating a corn dog, and Vince walked up, was like next to me, and he just looked at me and goes, "You're eating a corn dog?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Do you know what they put in those?" And she was like, "Well, it's all they have here." And he was like, "Ugh." And then he just walked away.
Really?
Wow.
Corn dogs.
Anti-corn dog, apparently.
I feel like Vince would be like anything that's like sold at a county fair. Vince would be like, "Us American, goddammit."
Yeah.
Anti-corn dog.
I've never understood why they don't make more gourmet corn dogs, actually.
Corn dogs are the greatest thing ever.
so
Fuck that,
good.
dude.
He just looks so disappointed in not knowing Vince
if
McMahon
you
doesn't like corn dogs.
You go like the Pomona Fair or the Orange County Fair, like those corn dogs are so good.
They are.
When we went to,
Humongous,
That's what I have to do this weekend.
When
The
we
Orange
went-
County Fair is closing this weekend, huh?
I'd rather go to the LA County Fair.
I'm waiting for the chili cook-off myself.
Is that
in
LA?
Malibu?
When's that?
Yeah.
It's in there's a big chili cook-off every September or early September in
Yeah,
Malibu.
it's awesome.
Remind us.
I've been
Noted.
doing it. I've been doing it a couple of times.
I've been going there since I was like 12.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's
Noted.
really awesome.
Noted.
Could I come with like a spoon, like Homer?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can.
So,
Yeah.
like, all right.
Just
Different
give you
kinds
some-
of chili can there really be?
I mean,
A
there's,
lot.
there's a
Ryan.
lot.
There's a lot. There's like a whole like festival grounds.
I mean,
of
there's
different-
how many kinds of meat are there?
How many
Lots.
kinds
No
of-
one wants like turkey chili.
But I got
Hey,
But
there's
it's still gonna be there.
bomb turkey chili there. I've been to this cook-off many
Yeah.
times before. It's incredible. You'll have like veggie chili there and be like, I
Ew,
swear to God.
I
this
would
is like-
not.
That's
you
where I used to win all my
absolutely
old-
would because you get a sample of everything.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of going to a chili cook-off is trying everything.
I
Do you
want
get a
so
sampler?
many
Or do you have
res-
to buy everything?
You can buy it if you want to, but
But
you
you-
can sample it.
I've won so many WWE posters at the Chili Cook-Off back when I was a kid.
I had the best
Wow,
time
there
when I
you
went
go.
there
We're
last
definitely
time.
going.
I remember I won a framed Jake the Snake poster at one of those dart balloon games.
Yeah, and then if you want some frozen yogurt, you can go across the street to that shopping center that's right across
Yep.
from where they do it too. It's awesome.
Malibu Yogurt's been there for
Yeah,
forever.
that place is awesome.
Yeah.
We already know our plans there, guys.
Yeah,
But I was bringing that up is because that's all I wanted to do when we went to Weenie Roast, and the line was so fucking
Yeah.
long.
I was so mad about that.
I wanted a corn dog so bad.
So did I. I wanted one of those.
Ugh.
Weenie Roast is cool though.
It
We
was.
got
Limp
to see
Bizkit
Limp
was
Bizkit.
great. Yeah.
They sound awesome.
But seriously, I don't understand why they haven't come up with gourmet corn dogs. Like they have that place,
Well-
Wurstkush, that has like all the sausages. Why
Well,
not make a corn dog
you
place
gotta-
like
How
that?
could you make a gourmet corn dog?
You use a sausage of a different variety to make the corn dog,
you gotta
Ryan.
That
You
wouldn't be
gotta,
gourmet. It would just be different.
No, it would be a
That's-
different kind of meat
No
inside
one's gonna
of it.
pay gourmet style money for a fucking corn
You're
dog.
out of your
Do you
mind.
know where you live?
You're out of
I
your-
worked at Hot
You-
Dog on a Stick.
Yeah, you worked at
I
a trash
know.
corn dog place.
Don't
No.
you fucking.
I'm talking about a new
Ever.
place. I'm talking about a new
Yeah.
place. Inspired. It's inspired by Worst Kush, and it's called Best Kush, and they're gonna make gourmet corn dogs.
Have you ever been to Doghouse?
I'm just kidding. I really like hot dog.
Okay,
on a
good.
stick.
Have you ever been to Doghouse?
Yeah, of course. I like.
Doghouse
fighting
has-
words.
has,
You could
like,
shit
corn
on In and
dogs,
Out
the
as much as you
batter
want,
is-
but if you shit on
root
hot
beer.
dog on a
No,
stick,
I
we're
like.
throwing
Listen,
hands.
I like Domino's pizza too. You know, like I mean, I like stuff that is like mainstream and that is like not as high in quality of ingredients.
I
You
could
haven't
eat-
had a Domino's pizza in a long time.
I could
had one
eat
last week. It was
4
great.
hot
Really?
dog on a
In this
sticks
shape
right
you're
now.
in?
No problem.
Yeah,
Good.
I ate like
proud.
a whole pizza.
Let me see your
proud.
chest.
No,
Show us your chest, Eli.
all
Let me
right.
see the
Let
bare
Jim
chest.
Ross hook up with your girlfriend.
Or
No.
you.
I thought that's what the whole plan
That's
was.
what I thought it was too, Ryan. What the hell?
Oh, wait, it's just hooking up with Eli?
Yes.
I thought it was hooking up with his girlfriend.
No, that's gross.
Right?
I don't think we should get delved into this.
So much worse.
No, we shouldn't.
Moving
What's
on.
the next story?
Next story is Enzo Amore announcing that he's officially returning to the ring.
Oh, great.
From one great thing to another.
Let's go back to Jim Ross.
So Enzo Amore, it's crazy. He hasn't wrestled since he left WWE. He hasn't had one match. It's been over a year now. It was in January 2018.
He didn't wrestle much when he was there either. Hey-oh, am I right?
So Enzo, he says he's coming back this month at Northeast Wrestling event. Coincidentally, in the same venue where he wrestled his last match in WWE against Cedric Alexander.
Wait, where? What is this?
It's gonna. Well, he didn't say against who.
Where's this?
It's going to be at
The
that,
Mid
that
Hudson Civic Center,
It's
which is
going to be
where
at that random indie show where Moxley's going to fight Cass, right?
no Moxley. It's the one where Moxley's wrestling Pentagon Jr.
Oh.
And Cass is also on the show. Speaking of Cass, if you guys haven't seen the interview I did with Big Cass,
Watch
please
it.
check it out. Cass XL.
It's a good one.
It is good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
It gets deep. Like it's right off the bat. It's not like
I like the questions you asked him a lot too.
thank you. It gets deep right off the bat. Like it's serious for pretty much majority of the interview. It's pretty serious stuff. Talks all about battling depression during his time in WWE, and it's just interesting to hear how down he was while living such career highs at the time. So I implore you to check it out. I want to help spread the word on the importance of mental health as much as possible. So it's in the YouTube channel for Wrestling Sheet. It's also in our podcast feed if you search Wrestling Sheet Radio. Do you think that? But back to Enzo. Do you guys think that? Do you think there's any chance the wrestling community will ever accept him again
I
or be
can't say-
accepting of him?
I can't say no.
I mean, he
Because
did a
anything,
signing
things can
last
happen.
weekend.
I mean, things happen. You know, he does have a fan base of some sort.
Yeah.
It's just the reason why I think a lot of people are so turned off by it. And I mean, it's no secret. Also, me and Enzo used to be really good friends, and I can't say I agree with a lot. I mean, I've had to distance myself from him because I just honestly, it is what it is. I don't agree. I have no ill will towards him whatsoever. We've always been cool. It's just, especially with how he's been, like at the time, my company was about to launch, you know, and I was trying to make my way into the wrestling business at the time, back again after I had left it, after my time with the WWE, and I didn't, you know, he was straight up, he was out there making diss records about his accuser and his rape case. far from it for me to decide whether or not that happened or not, because that's not the point. The point is that you just don't do that.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you just have some tact about like a questionable situation.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of his decisions like really kind of made me like, I can't be around this, especially if I'm getting back into the public eye again. And also just the way he's been talking about wrestling. Like, he's been on multiple interviews saying, I'm never going to wrestle again. Mm-hmm. As of yesterday, I think.
No, I don't think as of yesterday.
Something really... no,
there
on
was
Twitter,
the TMZ...
somebody tweeted at him and said, are you coming back? He said, never again.
Really?
It was like yesterday. It was as I'm talking, it was like this week. Dude.
Okay.
And it's just like... and then also that one interview on TMZ where they got...
That was like
in
a
New
year
York,
ago, but yeah, totally, yeah.
That was even before that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this. Like, this was recent, what I've been seeing. And now and then like, he's jumping back and forth saying, I don't want to be in it, and then I do, then I don't. To me, it's just seeming more and more and more, you need a paycheck. To me.
I feel that. I do agree with you on that.
And I could be 1,000% wrong. I hope I am. It's just, I really, he doesn't seem to be wanting to do it for the right reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that to me, I agree with you. I feel like if Enzo did an interview like Cass did with me this week, and I'm not saying necessarily with me, but just like if he did an interview where he was honest, where he was like not Enzo Amore, but he was like himself, Eric Arndt, and was like talking about everything that happened and just being real, like, hey, I've grown, I've learned, I've made mistakes, but well, if he did anything like that, I guarantee you people would be on his side again. It's just that he doesn't want that. He wants to live that character 24/7.
Yeah, he wants to be that touchy subject. It's just you can't. It doesn't. I mean, hey, controversy creates cash, to quote Eric Bischoff. It does, 100%. But you need to have some substance behind you being controversial. You can't be controversial for the sake of being controversial. You're hanging out with him. I mean, like, it's like, oh, I'm getting clout by hanging out with Mickey Gall. Like, Mickey Gall is an average at best fighter. Like, this is like, he's talking, and then, like, for instance, he saw, like, even though he may have legitimately gotten pissed off of the whole Joey Janela thing that happened at Blink 182, he took that and ran with it in a way that was like, sort of like, dude, even Joey's not talking about it as much anymore. Yeah. Like you're clearly dragging this along. That I even saw in a lot of his comments, like, why are you still talking about this? Mm-hmm. And it's more. I mean, even when we were close and we spoke more often, and it was just frustrating to me. I would tell him all the time, be like, dude, like, being controversial for the sake of controversial isn't like working. You need to have some substance behind it. You need to have something to back it up. And, as I'm not the only one who said this about Enzo. More people have said this, that he doesn't like to listen to advice.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. It's not in his blood.
Yeah.
And there are people that are like that. And I mean, and who am I to talk? This was just some kid who was just watching what he did, from the outside. I mean, I'd been with the when I was with the WWE, he was with NXT, so we never really crossed paths at the time. It's just I can't. I truly don't. I only wish the best things for Enzo.
Yeah.
He's not a bad person.
No.
He's not at all. Like, if you got to know him, that's why people who get to know him stick around with him, because he's a fun guy.
Yeah, it's fun.
I also feel like there's not a lot of there aren't a huge amount of effective heels on the indies right now.
Well, I was gonna say, like,
he'd be great.
He got massive heat.
What I was gonna say is, like, hey, he's gonna get massive heat.
It's just
people
that
hate that guy.
People hate him. He's in anyone that wrestles against.
Not only that,
people are
but
gonna
it's
be
like
cheering for that person.
He's gonna go in there. I'm pretty sure, fully understanding that he's hated by that audience.
Yes.
And so, like, I mean, I don't have a relationship with them all, obviously. So, like, I mean, I don't have any personal sightings with it. Just strictly from, like, a fan level, I'd kind of want to be at that show to see what the response is like. Not even I could give a lick of what he can do in the ring, because he can't. But, like,
well, also, to be fair, we don't know that. Like, we've only seen him wrestle in WWE. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know that he can't wrestle.
Where else did he wrestle?
I like all the looks you're giving me. I'm just saying that there are wrestlers who leave WWE.
The guy hasn't been wrestling at all since then.
If there are wrestlers who didn't, a lot of those guys are told how to wrestle while they're there and stuff.
He got hired off of talking. Like, he even says that.
Yeah, but he still wrestled while he was there.
Yeah, but he didn't wrestle before there, did he?
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have the skill available.
No, it does mean that.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it's not like they were like, oh, but the stuff he's not showing us. It's like, no, I think he showed you what he has. The dude knocked himself out in, like, his first pay-per-view match.
He didn't knock him. Well, he got knocked out.
He knocked himself out.
It's funny. Simon Gotch is still talking about that. He was on Instagram.
It's the most viewed YouTube video ever in wrestling.
But he's still talking about it. Like, he was on Instagram just last night doing an AMA where he was saying how much he hates Stone Cold Steve Austin, Simon Gotch, because Stone Cold said bad things about him while interviewing Enzo and talking about that thing. And so he was like, fuck Stone Cold, and I was like, man.
What did he say?
I was
about,
like,
what did Stone Cold say
unfollow
about
Simon Gotch, and I just like I don't follow someone who says fuck Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I just unfollowed.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Nope.
But what did he
Stuck
say
on
about
Superman's
Gotch in the interview?
What?
What did he say about Gotch in the interview? I'm sure he came up, but I'm saying, what did Austin say?
Oh, he said he basically said. If I recall correctly, not exact quote, but Simon Gotch said something like, he said something like Austin said that like he had a lot of fire behind him, but he didn't know how to pull back or something like that, and it pissed. I'll pull it up. He said something very specific that I'm messing up, but it was definitely like
sounds right.
I don't think that it was really like that bad of a thing that he said.
I feel like anytime that Stone Cold talks about how a wrestler could make some adjustments to better their character or to better themselves in the ring, he's pretty dead on.
Hey, listen to him.
Yeah. Like, he's pretty fucking dead on.
Mm-hmm. He said, here we go. He said, Stone Cold said, he's a good little technician, but needs to back off on the throttle. Like, that's why you hate him? That's why you said fuck Stone Cold Steve Austin? Like, what? I don't know. Lastly, before we get out of here, I want to bring up one last thing, because I loved this. Did any of you guys see Fandango return to NXT this week?
I haven't watched it yet.
Did you see it? You saw it? I liked his new vibe, that he wasn't dressed as like
like
a
the
dancer.
jacket around him.
Yeah, he had like a leather jacket. He had a wife beater, like regular pants.
He still moved like Fandango, though.
He did, and they did a backstage interview afterwards that was only for WWE.com, and he basically said he had the voice still.
Well, they got to make some pivot. You know, what are they called? The fashion files of
Fashion Police.
They've run it's run its course.
Yeah, it's done.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's why I like the video so much too, because basically he says he was like, I was in too deep, Breezy. I was in too deep. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, I was in too deep, man. You know, we were so busy giving out tickets and focusing on policing everyone's fashion that we didn't think of one thing: our fashion's whack. and he's like, what's that mean? What's that mean? He's like, it's whack. Our fashion, it's whack. And he was like, what's that? He's like, what the kids are saying these days. He was like, so the kids are saying these days, it means it's bad. It's bad. Our fashion's bad. And he was like, Tyler Breeze is like, what? Our fashion is like, yeah. We need a makeover. Breezango reimagined. And then Tyler Breeze has like a good look on his face.
Which I'm hyped to see what that is.
And then they walk off screen. Me too. Honestly, I feel like NXT could make them a serious, not serious, that's the wrong word, less goofy of a tag team where they're still entertaining and funny and all that kind of stuff.
And hopefully, like, they'll serve as like the impetus for more people going back to NXT and actually kind of retooling who
And
they
also,
are.
I'm sorry, like, if you ever feel so down about your career and you think there's no way out, you really just got to look at people like Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
Absolutely.
They're given the worst. Fandango's a fucking ballroom dancer.
Yeah.
And he's still here.
Yeah.
I thought that when I was watching this. I said, couldn't they, if this whole reimagined thing isn't to start calling him Johnny Curtis again, I'm going to be pissed, because Fandango, I get it.
No, he's
It was
Fandango now.
I know it was a thing that Vince McMahon was real into, but he clearly doesn't care about it anymore.
No.
And it's the silliest name. It's a famous app. Like, it's a very famous app. It'd be like having an app called, a wrestler called
Shazam.
iTunes. Yeah, exactly. Shazam. So yeah, but regardless, I like it. I feel like they need.
Well, there is a superhero named
Yeah.
Shazam.
Did I say
That's not-
superhero?
I said
No.
so.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying, but
Hey,
there
if
is
they came out with a
superhero.
wrestler
Yeah.
named iTunes, I'd be intrigued. I'd be like, wow.
Spotify for world champion.
iTunes? Really?
iTunes?
I gotta see this guy.
I'm watermarking this, what I'm about to say right now. Jamie watermarked. If there's not a tag team that comes out called Terms and Conditions, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great tag team
it
name.
is.
Terms and Conditions.
Standards and practices.
Aren't you a
like 'em all.
manager?
I am.
Better use it.
Yeah. Renamed to Platinum Terms and Conditions.
Yeah. You didn't read the contract.
I can change your name whenever I want.
Do you click agree?
Jamie, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at JAMIE_IOVINE. Or on Instagram at JAMIEIOVINE. Check us out. Check me and my stable upper class out at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every week. Check out Network for daily raffles, drops, exclusive items that you can't get anywhere else, or early access. And that's
Chuck
it.
Line.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's right. We just announced my official collab with the guys at Chalk Line, the entrance pant, and pretty much what the concept
Pants, plural.
pants. Yeah. I don't know what's a plural. I guess that is, yeah.
Yeah, it's plural.
And basically the concept was, when I was growing up, it was actually Road Dogg who I was watching that gave me the idea, because I always wanted to wear Road Dogg's pants.
Me
Yeah.
too. Always.
And I was
They look
like,
so comfy.
why don't they just sell those? I was like, they look awesome because they're not tights.
Wait, why isn't that one of the ones you guys are doing?
Because we're not going to start with Road Dogg.
Like, official, authentic Road Dogg pant.
Everyone's like,
I don't want the Road Dogg pant.
I want the Road Dogg pant, but that's down the line. But and so yeah, basically it's taking the idea of you can wear your favorite wrestling superstars tights, but they're not tights. They're comfortable. They're not restricting. Your nuts won't show. It has pockets. You could wear them to the office.
You wore them on the show.
I wore them on the
in
show
the early
once.
days here.
As an Easter egg. Early
Yeah,
Easter egg.
early
planting.
Easter egg. It's been like a year since
Yeah.
you wore those.
Yeah, I've had those working for a minute. WWE legal is not a straight path. You know, it's
Quite
a lot
the
of-
minefield.
Yeah, but we announced that we're dropping our first pant, which is, you could go on my Instagram, the Chalk Line Instagram. They're up right now. It is the Bret Hart entrance pants. We fashioned them after Bret Hart's tights, and we're dropping them in Toronto physically at the Super Show for SummerSlam. That's the first time they're going to drop, and then mass release after SummerSlam.
So that wasn't my question, since you can say that. So then the only place you can get them initially is at SummerSlam?
yes, I think so. As far as I
Or is it like a
understand.
superstore type thing?
No, not at the event SummerSlam. No,
There's like a
not, no, the
superstore type thing?
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, they'll be available like online or something like that somewhere?
Uh-huh.
Can we
Will the
get
other
advanced
pants be available?
Yeah, I did get some advanced orders, so hopefully we'll get you some. Well, Ryan is just going to steal whoever I give to Kevin. So.
God damn it. Fucking shit, Ryan.
Will the other ones go out then too, or just Bret Hart first?
Right now we're focusing on Bret Hart
Okay.
specifically for Toronto, but I mean there's another one ready to rock.
Yeah,
There's
no, I
another-
remember.
There's one more ready to go. So, I mean, it's not up to me, unfortunately. I can't dictate the release times. It's up to WWE.
Totally.
So,
They look awesome though. Yeah, check them out on Jamie's page. They look rad.
Are they Raven pants? Well, just
raving pants.
No, Raven, where it just has like
Oh.
halfway down it's just jean
Cut-offs?
shorts, and then
Leg.
the rest of it is just.
My brother
like,
said you should just make
hairy
Stone
legs.
Cold just like muscular leg pants.
Kevin, where can people find you at?
You guys can find me at Kevin Gets Rad on Instagram and Twitter, and Ryan will probably steal my pants, and we're very different sizes.
But I like them.
Look at
Big.
like
I like
MC
them bigger.
Hammer.
I like them bigger. What can I say?
No underwear
It's also like
and
100
suck
degrees
with
out,
it.
so I am not going to be wearing them anytime soon.
Hey, when they come out, summer will be starting to end.
Okay, cool.
So-
Good. Okay, good.
You can wear them at nighttime.
Also, hopefully it doesn't stay 100 degrees all summer because it's so hot right now. I want it to cool down. You probably love it, Surfer Boy.
No, it's not that hot at the beach, but you know.
Yeah, it actually is much cooler at the beach.
I mean, it's not.
True.
Literally,
I have to bring a hoodie whenever I go to Port Wayne for the taping because it's like
True.
it gets
Yeah.
cold.
I live in the
It's-
valley, so it's
yeah.
100 degrees every night.
Oh.
It's nice
Fuck
where I
that.
live.
Eli, where can people find you at?
Twitter at Elijah Bates, Instagram at Brindlebeard. By the way, R.I.P. Harley Race.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I didn't
Well,
want
how
to.
do we even not say that?
Well, because it's like
I did.
we're just gonna have such a sad conversation about someone being dead. I figured we'd have more fun memory,
Well,
fun
I
conversation
think
about
it's-
other things.
I
Well,
saved it for
just
the end.
you
I
know, he
saved
had
it.
Harley Race had a great career.
Dude had a good run.
R.I.P. to a legend.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Harley Race, indeed. You can find everything that Pro Wrestling Sheet is doing at Wrestling Sheet on social media, ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find all top stories in the world of professional wrestling throughout the week. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find the Raw and SmackDown recaps that I do with John Roca. It's where you can find the video of us doing Wrestling Sheet Radio here. It's also where you can find the video, that, like I said, of me interviewing Big Cass. And also, if you just want to listen to the audio of all those things, they're available on podcast platforms. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio. Okay, that's it. We're done. Officially tapping out. Until next time, stay out of the dirt and keep your eye on the sheet.